have you on Planetterrian Daily, episode 102, coming to you on June 26, 2026. Let's see what the latest research is telling us. Sea anemones use a protein that reverses the usual role of a human immune component to fight viruses. Researchers identified a protein in sea anemones that resembles a human immune component yet performs the opposite function. This protein remains essential for blocking viral replication in the animals. The study used molecular and functional assays to confirm the reversed role. The finding shows that antiviral strategies diverged early in animal evolution and that multiple effective pathways exist. Future work will test whether similar alternative mechanisms appear in other invertebrates. Sea anemones maintain antiviral protection with a protein that inverts the role played by its human counterpart. The reversal demonstrates that effective immune solutions are not limited to the vertebrate playbook. Because the protein is required rather than inhibitory, it points to an independent evolutionary branch for innate antiviral defense. The next step is to determine whether similar inverted mechanisms exist in other early branching animals and whether any components can be adapted for synthetic biology applications. Most people assume every animal fights viruses with roughly the same molecular toolkit that humans use. That assumption does not hold. Right now, your own cells rely on sensors that detect viral RNA and trigger interferon responses. Yet sea anemones achieve protection by repurposing a structurally similar protein to block replication through an opposite mechanism. A single memorable detail is that the anemone protein is essential for defense, even though it performs the reverse biochemical task of its human homologue. This matters because drug developers sometimes assume conserved pathways will respond similarly across species. The anemone case shows why that shortcut can miss entire classes of solutions. One practical takeaway is to watch for future papers that map antiviral proteins across additional invertebrate lineages. Those maps may reveal entirely new molecular strategies rather than variations on the human theme. Now, shifting to microbial coordination that also challenges standard assumptions about shared environments. Two common pathogens coordinate copper availability in their shared environment to stabilize joint biofilms. The mechanism allows the microbes to maintain structural integrity under metal stress. Experiments tracked copper fluxes between the species and showed that disrupting this exchange weakens the biofilm. The work maps copper fluxes between species rather than within one. University of Oxford geologists found chemical and structural evidence of extensive Earth-style magma chambers beneath the Martian surface. The systems formed without plate tectonics, challenging prior models of planetary differentiation. Data came from meteorite analysis and orbital observations of crustal composition. The results refine understanding of how Mars cooled and lost its early magnetic field. This evidence emerged from combined analysis of meteorites and orbital crustal data. Attribution analysis shows the current European heat episode exceeds any plausible range without anthropogenic climate change. Models that omit greenhouse gas forcing produce no comparable events. The study quantified the contribution of human emissions to both daytime and nighttime temperatures. Results strengthen the link between emissions and current extreme heat frequency. The analysis compared observed temperatures against scenarios lacking human influence. A new analysis finds that stomatal closure under elevated CO2 improves plant water use efficiency, less than earlier estimates predicted. Land surface models that assume large savings overestimate future soil moisture in many regions. The study combined satellite observations with flux tower data across multiple biomes. Revised projections indicate faster increases in drought risk. Satellite and flux tower records spanned several vegetation types. POSTECH and Kentech teams developed an exsolution process that simultaneously adjusts electronic and magnetic properties in oxide-thin films. The method produces embedded nanoparticles whose size and distribution control conductivity and spin behavior. Published in Advanced Materials, the work demonstrates reversible switching under modest temperature changes. The approach offers a route to new spintronic and memory devices. Size and distribution of the nanoparticles directly tune the film properties. Hefei Institute's researchers measured the upper critical field of La4Ni3010 under pressure and found nearly isotropic behavior. The result differs from the strong anisotropy seen in many cuprates. High-pressure transport and magnetization data support the finding. It narrows possible pairing mechanisms for nickel-based superconductors. The measurements were performed under applied pressure conditions. An International Journal of Technology Enhanced Learning study tracked students before and after targeted computational thinking instruction. Both self-reported skill ratings and objective performance on novel problems rose. The gains appeared across different disciplines. The work supports wider integration of computational thinking modules in undergraduate curricula. Performance improvements were documented on problems not previously encountered. Gaia data revealed a stellar passage that perturbed the Oort cloud and increased comet influx. Orbital simulations show the perturbation continues to shape comet trajectories today. The work was presented at the American Astronomical Society Division on Dynamical Astronomy meeting. It links a single historical event to ongoing solar system dynamics. The simulations incorporated updated Gaia astrometric measurements. From microbial interactions that affect health, shift to land management practices that directly influence soil and water systems supporting human food production. Wageningen University researchers found that economic and environmental benefits of regenerative practices vary sharply with water availability and manure supply. Farms in some European regions showed clear gains, others did not. The Regionomics project used paired field comparisons and economic modeling. Water availability and manure supply determine whether practices deliver measurable improvements. Recommendations now emphasize site-specific planning rather than uniform adoption. From variable land-based interventions, turn to a clear success story of nutrient management that improved freshwater systems at scale. Nutrient reductions from improved wastewater treatment halted or reversed deoxygenation trends across monitored Chinese lakes and rivers. The effect persisted even as regional temperatures rose. The Nature Geoscience study combined long-term monitoring data with modeling to separate management impacts from climate effects. Continued nutrient controls appear sufficient to maintain gains. Penn sociologist Pilar Gonalons-Pons and colleagues compared household data across parent types. Same-sex couples maintained more balanced paid and unpaid work splits than different-sex couples after parenthood. The pattern held after controlling for income and education. The findings highlight how gender norms shape post-child labor allocation. Data spanned multiple household surveys. A University of North Carolina trial tested messages encouraging offline meetups among lonely 18 to 29-year-olds. Participants who received the prompts reported higher rates of in-person interaction. The Journal of Adolescent Health study measured both self-report and behavioral outcomes. The approach offers a low-cost complement to existing loneliness interventions. The trial focused on young adults reporting loneliness. From large-scale environmental recovery, moved to a materials advance that could improve internal medical imaging. Researchers fabricated soft hydrogel fibers hundreds of micrometers wide that carry light with low loss. The fibers are flexible enough to navigate narrow ducts. Early tests target early breast cancer detection inside small ducts. Further material optimization is underway to reach clinical resolution. From engineered biomaterials for imaging, close with a natural biomaterial whose assembly rules have just been decoded. University of Salzburg scientists decoded the composition of Tintinid carena after more than 2 centuries of study. The shells consist of proteins that spontaneously assemble into a UV-absorbing, resilient material. This is the first identified biomaterial produced by a eukaryotic protist. The discovery establishes tintinids as a new system for biomaterial research. Next time, keep an eye on new orbital data that may clarify how ancient stellar passages continue to shape comet trajectories. That covers today's science and health news. Share this with someone who's curious about the latest research. I'm Patrick in Vancouver. See you next time. And if you'd rather watch than listen, find us on YouTube at NARA Network. Links in the show notes. And before you go, this show is part of the NARA Network, a family of daily podcasts on tech, science, and markets, each one a short, sharp briefing you can finish on the commute. If today earned its place in your feed, here's your next listen. Models and Agents for Beginners, Artificial Intelligence Explained Simply, for beginners and curious teens. Find every show free at naranetwork.com. This episode used AI voice synthesis of my voice. Editorial selection and analysis are my own.